Before I start off this video, I'd like to make a formal apology in regards to my last, just my last video. In my last video, I was covering the topic of old Star Wars games and why there weren't any new Star Wars games, and I feel like I was kind of withholding information from you, and you know, my comment section on that video has made it widely known and clear that you know, I shouldn't treat my audience like a bunch of fools. I shouldn't treat them like a bunch of idiots. I was clearly purposefully leaving out one particular game that just completely disputes the entire argument of the video, and I feel like a fucking fool for it. I just like to apologize, guys. I hope you can forgive me for this. If you unsubscribe, I don't blame you. Jeez. I didn't talk about arguably one of the greatest Star Wars games ever, one of the peaks of perfection, a video game that completely floored and revolutionized the entire industry. Jesus fucking Christ, what was that? That was a fucking lethal ass. I didn't know my throat was capable of that. The peak of perfection, as some people would even argue. That game is, of course, Star Wars Connect. I'm solo. Hey guys, Exro here, back with another sponsorship for Jihad. Don't be white, get it right, with Allah. Today we're gonna be talking about, you know, just a forgotten gaming icon. The video game industry, it's a fucking circus. It's a goddamn laughingstock, and you might be asking yourself, oh, Exro, is that because AAA titles are like a tumor to the industry? Is that because, you know, big shots like EA and Ubisoft think they can do whatever the hell they want with their consumers, and they're just tugging at the severed foreskin of consumers like the greedy Jews they are, and stealing the money from their pockets? I mean, okay, yeah, that is too, to be fair, but what I'm talking about specifically is, I don't even need to fucking say it. I don't need some big stupid ass reveal. Just read the title, you fucking idiot. Just read the title, you dummy. You probably knew that what this was about anyways. This was set up the Bubsy. Uh-oh, whoa, look at that. It's a fucking Bubsy video. Oh, never seen that one before. Ooh, never saw that one coming from the fucking title. Bubsy is a failed gaming mascot from the 90s that was in there to, you know, to kind of capitalize on the revolution that Sonic did. Revolution in quotes, because quite frankly, I think Bubsy is a far more superior and artistically influential than Sonic the fucking Hedgehog ever was. This is why the gaming industry is such a shithole now. It's because Bubsy is basically a forgotten video game icon. Games at the time, and even today, weren't seen as a legitimate medium. They weren't seen as an art form, and I have a theory to that. The only liberalistic type of games that we had at those times were, they were just shot down like fucking kamikaze planes. Those weren't shot down, they kind of did that themselves. What if JFK wasn't shot in the head and his head just did that? There was a crash in the video game market in '83, and whenever it comes to the game recovery, you know, like the reconstruction of the video game industry, people often point back to NES 1985 for America anyways. They're like, ooh, that Mario saved us. Ooh, that tight pixel of Samus's ass. That's the thing that saved us. Thick mommy. Oh boy. Yeah, sure, it might have temporarily saved us, but quite frankly, I think after a while it just became a pretentious dumpster fire. Mario, more like faggot-lipped Italian piece of shit Godfather ripoff, because he's Italian. And Lord knows, if you make an Italian character after Godfather came out, that's just automatically a ripoff. there became a certain unspoken formula of video games because platformers overtook the market at the time. They were like, they were the big boys. It was like big nigga season. Except it just never fucking ended up until 3D platforming became a thing in the late 90s, which transitioned into first-person shooters whenever we got some good fucking consoles to, you know, that would allow for that. Whenever we had the proper technology that would allow for us to shoot all the terrorists in the world, all the gays in the world. Video games up until Bubsy came out anyways. You know, unspoken formula. Ooh, you jump. You press this button, you jump, and the camera's fixed at an angle to where you can actually see it and you can actually play the fucking game. And you know, there are actual proper physics in this game that work, and it's all the stupid shit. It's just the dumbest shit I've ever fucking heard of. Bubsy was different, and this is what made him a gaming icon and an artistic expression icon. You see, the gimmick with Bubsy, people often cite the gimmick of Bubsy that was, oh, his character can glide in the air. But no, that wasn't it. It was really the fact that the camera was so zoomed in on every single particle that you could see every single fucking pixel of Bubsy's unshaved testicles. And the fact that this Bubsy had the same character momentum and physics as a Hurricane Irma did. You move slightly to the left, and boom, you're going down like a tornado, like a hurricane. You are an unstoppable machine. Until you're hit one time and you fucking die. And, you know, it moved too fast for the player to even fucking comprehend it. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, these are faults in the game. These are obvious faults. No, retard. You just don't understand. That's the point of it. It's like an anti-game. It's genius in that regard. You got the big shot YouTubers in here like fucking JonTron and some call me Johnny, who are like, look at this fucking cat. This fucking cat licked my balls when I put peanut butter on it. I bet they're the type of casuals who look at DC movies and they're like, oh man, this movie doesn't make any sense. This is an incoherent mess. This was lacking in entertainment value, because it does. But you know, in this society, if you want to be the best of the best among fucking pretentious ass hippies, you gotta be the worst of the worst. And remember, folks, if there's a thing that nobody else likes but you like, just pull the argument out of your ass that, oh, it's too smart for you. Actually, you have to have an IQ of 765 million to enjoy Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad double feature, bitch. Of course, you know, critics didn't enjoy Bubsy 1. That was the own critics' fault. They're just being dumbass fucking wiener beaners to put it that way. Unfortunately, they decided to give in. The developers of this amazing Picasso of an art form decided to they just said, fuck it. Let's make Bubsy 2 the closest thing to normal. The ultimate problem with Bubsy 2 is that there's some form of competence in it. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a fucking shitty game, but there's still a layer of competence in there, and it's fucking insulting. Bubsy should never try, alright? The key characteristics of a Bubsy game is that it doesn't fucking work. It's broken as hell. It looks like shit. It's bad, alright? Never should anyone try for a good Bubsy game. That's just fucking insulting to true Bubsy players, to true video gamers, the big alpha niggas like me. Frick. Bubsy 2 had better controls and had a more fixed camera, and it was just oh god. Critics liked it more than Bubsy 1, and because of that, and because I'm a fucking idiot who hates everything mainstream, I automatically hated it. Rick and Morty sucks. Every Marvel movie ever, it sucks balls by default. Stanley Kubrick is the worst director I've ever seen, and video games are not good. They are a terrible mockery of our society. Also, I hate technology now. Actually, I'm identifying as a baby boomer now, lads. Ooh, you better watch your ass. I'll report you on the spot if I see at least one F word on this fucking site. What the hell? Apparently there was another game between Bubsy 2 and Bubsy 3D. Bubsy and Fractured Furry Tales. The fuck? Why have I never heard of this piece of shit? This was released on the Atari Jaguar. Okay. When did the Jaguar come out? Hold on, give me a second. I gotta pull out my expert detective kits. My top-notch CIA tier editing for this to find out this research. Xbox on. Xbox. Okay, Google. Look up. Please, Xbox, I need you to make it fast. This is for my funny meme video. All my friends are gonna love this part. Please, Xbox. The FBI are knocking on my door any second now. Okay, so Atari Jaguar came out 1993? And Bubsy, the Atari Jaguar game, came out 1994. Nigga, if you're trying to make a successful gaming icon and you're trying to sell that and you're trying to make it big in the gaming industry, why would you sell it on a fucking failed console? This was a year later. This was a year after this console launched. I thought it fucking failed amongst like launch or some shit. Why the fuck did they make a goddamn Bubsy game on the Atari Jaguar? I mean, hey, no one can criticize your game if they don't buy it. Now we come to the real meat and bones of the Bubsy series. Bubsy 2 fucked up in the sense that they gave a shit this time. But nuh-uh, they're redoing that with the revolutionary title Bubsy 3D. Came out the same year as Mario 64 and Crash Bandicoot. But where Mario 64 and Crash Bandicoot fail, it doesn't have Bubsy in it. Everyone loves Bubsy.
War never changes. The Romans waged war to gather slaves and wealth. Spain built an empire from its lust for gold and territory. Hitler shaped a battered Germany into an economic superpower. But war never changes.
It's really it's the kind of innovation that just excites. You know, it's that type of innovation. That's totally not a quote. That's been said by fucking everyone ever when promoting anything. The idea for Bubsy 1 was, hey, let's make this nigga move like the fucking tornado from Joplin in 2011. Even though this was a game made in '93. Where Bubsy 3D's approach was more like, hey, let's make this game run like a fucking tank. It was genius. Each level was, quite literally a new coat of paint, and I thought that was brilliant because instead of saying that and using it as a metaphor like in Mario where it's like, oh, the levels are diverse and interesting, it feels like a new layer of paint within each level. Now it's like literally, because the colors are like fucking solid colors and the platforms are literally just random floating platforms. About 19 years had passed since Bubsy 3D, cult classic by the way. It didn't sell too well in the initial launch, but you know, a cult classic regardless. The Bubsy team decides to get back together again, a little classic reunion, and they decide, hey, why don't we release the first two Bubsies on Steam, and you know, if we get enough critical feedback, we will make a new Bubsy, cause son of a bitch. So the general idea of it was, hey, if this gets enough positive feedback on Steam, we'll make another Bubsy game. This probably is all bullshit, but shut the fuck up and fix my character, you asshole. And oh boy, did it take off. It skyrocketed to the top of the top. Just pull up this number of reviews right now. Just look at that. Isn't that fucking astounding, especially for Steam? That fucking just floored the entire YouTube and gaming community. Have you ever seen any other game on Steam with this many positive reviews? That isn't Bad Rats. That's another expert game that we'll probably talk about another day. No, we won't, because this joke will be dead by then. So they decided, well, that's it. All this positive reception, that we're just gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to make a new Bubsy. The market requires it. Supply and demand. Yeah, pull up all those PPC charts. I know economics. I'm a goddamn genius. Bubsy came back, and my initial reaction was gonna be, oh my god, Mario Odyssey is not gonna have shit on this. Legend of Zelda ain't gonna have shit on this. Your Odmo, whatever, the fucking robot game with the busty anime girls, they're not gonna have shit on this. Sonic Mania is a fucking sham. Get this shit out of here. We want the real big boys into this saloon. We want Bubsy the Woolly Strike Back. They tried taking the Bubsy 2 approach, where they actually gave a shit. And they actually try to make a good game. Don't get me wrong, like Bubsy 2, this game still sucks, but it sucks on the level that it's like not even laughably enjoyable. Honestly, at this point, my hopes for video game revivals are fucking dead. Ukulele turned out to be just a peanut butter pee-pee dick. Mighty No. 9, a revival of a series I didn't even care about initially. That turned out to be...
And make the bad guys cry like an anime fan on prom night.
I can't believe they did this to Bubsy. Why would you actually try to make a good game with Bubsy, you pieces of shit? I'm so fucking mad. I can't control my anger right now. It is seeping out of my skin. It is just crawling out of my pores. I can't take this. This is untainted rage. I'm gonna go on Vice City now, and I'm gonna shoot up all the gay bars I see. Gosh darn it.
It starts with one thing. I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to explain due time.
Oh, I know.
Time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as the pendulum swings. Watch it count down to the end of the day. Clock ticks like the way.
So unreal.
Then you look out below. Watch the time go right out the window. Try to hold on. Didn't even know, just wasted it all. Just watch you go. Check everything inside, even though I tried. It all fell apart. What it meant to be will eventually be a memory of a time I tried so